You built the pyramids. Everyone knows who built the pyramids. Slaves, thousands of slaves, whipped and starved, dragging stones across the desert. It's one of the most famous facts in history, in every movie, every textbook, every documentary. It's completely wrong. The people who built the pyramids were paid. They had health care. They ate better than most Egyptians alive at the time. And when they died on the job, they were buried with full honors right next to the pyramid because the pharaoh considered them sacred. We know all of this because in 1990, a tourist's horse tripped on a hidden wall in the desert near Giza. Archaeologists dug, and they found an entire city, the city where you lived, your bakery, your brewery, your hospital, your bedroom, and scratched into one of the walls, a name, possibly yours. Where you are? Ancient Egypt, the desert plateau just outside Memphis, west of the Nile. The year is 2560 BC. The Great Pyramid of Giza is halfway built. When it's finished, it will be the tallest structure on Earth, and it will hold that record for the next 3,800 years. Nothing humans build will beat it until a cathedral in England in 1311 AD. You have been working on it for 3 months. You wake up before the sun. Morning. Your bed is a reed mat. You share a room with 11 men, your crew. 3 months in, you know the sound of every one of their snores. This isn't a work camp. It's a real city, built specifically to house pyramid workers. Bakers start their ovens at midnight, so bread is ready at dawn. Brewers run all day. There are doctors, administrators, priests, and the workers are organized into crews with actual names. Friends of Khufu, drunkards of Menkaura. Yes, one of the pyramid work crews was literally called the drunkards. Archaeologists found it carved into the stone. Breakfast, several loaves of bread, more than you'd eat at home. Beer, weak but full of calories. Sometimes dried fish from the Nile. Sometimes actual beef, which most ordinary Egyptians almost never get. You are fed like an athlete, because that's what you are. The site. You walk to the pyramid in a group every morning, and every morning the same thing happens. The closer you get, the bigger it becomes, and your brain never fully adjusts to it. From a distance, it's a shape. Up close, it stops feeling like something built. It feels like it was always there, like it grew from the rock. The base is the size of 9 football fields. Each block weighs between 2 and 15 tons. There are 2.5 million of them. You have personally moved hundreds. Nobody here was brought in chains. Most came because the pharaoh asked, and in ancient Egypt, when the god-king asks, you come. But also because the food is good, the pay is real, and there is something about this project you feel in your chest every morning that you don't have words for. You are building something that will last forever. You believe that completely. You are correct. The work. Your job, rope crew, eastern ramp. The blocks come across the Nile on barges, get loaded onto sledges, and get pulled up long earthen ramps by teams of men on ropes. Your rope is thick braided papyrus, rough enough to shred your palms if you're careless. You learned that in week 1. The foreman calls. You pull. A stone that weighs as much as 2 cars moves because of 12 human bodies leaning into a rope at the same angle at the same moment. You find the rhythm fast. Pull, step, pull, step. And after a while you stop thinking. The heat, the rope, the next pull. Nothing else exists. At a certain point in the morning, you stop thinking at all. The break. Work stops at midday. No exceptions. Heat stroke on this site kills faster than accidents. You sit in the shade with your crew. Someone passes water. Someone else produces onions. Onions are eaten constantly here, apparently good for strength, or at least that's what everyone says. You eat and look at the pyramid. From mid-slope, you can see the white limestone casing stones they've started applying to the outside, glittering in the sun like something from a dream. When it's finished, the entire surface will be covered in it, visible for miles, blazing like a mirror in the desert. You won't see it finished. The project takes 20 years. You're here for one season. Everyone knows this when they come. But your hands have been on these stones. You've moved them. Some of them are in there now, permanent, in a structure that is going to outlast your village, your children, the language you speak, everything. You eat your onion in 3 bites. Back to work. The doctor. 3 weeks ago, the man who sleeps next to you broke his arm. Rope slipped. He hit the edge of a sledge. The snap was audible over the noise of the site. He was carried to the site physician immediately, a trained doctor on permanent staff. The arm was set, splinted. He was taken off the work roster. Food and beer still provided throughout recovery. We know this because archaeologists found the actual medical records, written on papyrus, injuries listed, treatments noted, recovery tracked, fractures, sprains, crushings, all documented. On one skeleton in the workers' cemetery, there's evidence of a full leg amputation, a clean surgical cut, and then new bone growth around it. The person survived the surgery, lived for years after. Someone fed them. Someone kept them alive. On a construction site, 4,500 years ago. Tonight, your crewmate is sitting up in bed arguing about the correct way to splint a wrist because he has opinions about everything, and a broken arm hasn't changed that. You tell him he's an idiot. He agrees cheerfully. Evening. The work ends when the light goes. You walk back slower than the morning. Nobody talks much. The sun going down turns the desert orange and red. The sand, the stone, the pyramid behind you catching the last of it. You always turn to look, every evening. You can't help it. Before you sleep, you do something archaeologists found repeated across dozens of walls all over this site. You scratch your name into the stone. Just your name, your title, rope crew, Eastern Ramp. No speech, no prayer. Just, I was here. I did this. What happened next? The pyramid was finished around 2560 BC, 146 meters tall, a 40-story building built without machinery. The casing stones fitted so precisely you can't slide a piece of paper between them. The 4 sides aligned to the cardinal directions within a fraction of a degree. Engineers today, with GPS and laser equipment, still can't fully explain how they did it. For 3,800 years, the tallest structure on Earth, it is still standing. Every other wonder of the ancient world is gone. The Hanging Gardens, the Colossus of Rhodes, the Temple of Artemis, destroyed by war, weather, time. The Great Pyramid just kept standing, in the same desert, in the same sun, doing nothing except existing. The workers' city was buried by sand, forgotten for 4,000 years. Then in 1990, a horse tripped. Archaeologists found the bakeries, the breweries, the hospital. They found the cemetery, workers buried with care, with grave goods, with respect. They found the medical records. They found the names on the walls, rough letters scratched quickly into stone, not meant to be art, just the same impulse that makes people carve their initials into trees, write their names on bathroom walls, tag their handles everywhere. I was here. The pyramid is still there. Your name is still there. 4,500 years later, an archaeologist crouched in the dust with a flashlight and read it. By the numbers. Built, approximately 2560 BC. Stones, 2.5 million blocks, up to 15 tons each. Workers, 20,000 to 30,000 at peak. Not slaves, paid workers with food, beer, health care, and burial rights. Work crew names found carved on site. Friends of Khufu. Drunkards of Menkaura. Daily ration per worker, around 10 loaves of bread, 4 to 5 jugs of beer. Surgical amputations confirmed by skeletal evidence, with patients surviving for years after. The pyramid has been standing for 4,500 years. Structural estimates say it has at least another 1,000 to go. It was built by people who woke up before dawn, pulled ropes in the heat, ate bread and onions, scratched their names into walls, and fell asleep on reed mats. People exactly like you. They didn't build it out of fear. They built it because they believed it would last. They were right.